I must acknowledge the support from you at the very outset of the formation of our interim government, which manifests your friendship and high importance that Malaysia attaches to its relationship with Bangladesh. My friends, taking advantage of Prime Minister Anwar bin Ibrahim's presence in Dhaka, both of us committed ourselves to revitalize long-standing bilateral issues during our discussions just held. In my conversation, we discussed the unprecedented mass movement leading to the second revolution in Bangladesh, and the people, particularly the youth, have made remarkable sacrifice in their quest for freedom and discrimination-free new Bangladesh. The interim government has been entrusted with the formidable task of building an inclusive and just Bangladesh to fulfill the aspirations of the mass people. We deeply appreciate the unwavering support and cooperation of our brotherly country Malaysia at this historic moment. Bilateral relations flourish through shared values, trust, and appreciation of mutual interests. We renewed our commitment to take bilateral relations to a new height. We broadly had discussed three core areas of cooperation: political, trade and investment, cultural and humanitarian. We discussed the issue of safe repatriation of the forcibly displaced Myanmar nationals to Myanmar. We requested the Prime Minister to persuade Rohingya repatriation issue in ASEAN fora so that this protracted crisis is resolved at the soonest. We acknowledge the importance of regular bilateral consultation at foreign advisor, foreign minister level, foreign secretary general level, and other working levels. Excuse me. We look forward to the 4th Joint Commission meeting to be held in Dhaka in early next year. To boost the two-way trade, it is imperative to resume the Trade Negotiation Committee meeting to conclude free trade agreement between the two countries. We also discussed to explore the possibility of signing a new agreement or MOU on agriculture, energy, education, halal economy, semiconductor industry, connectivity, blue economy, science innovations, defense, and youth development. Service sector is a prospective area for us where both the countries can work closely. We will be identifying the sectors which are mutually beneficial for both sides. Possible future areas of collaboration could be mobility, finance, including sovereign fund, pension fund, private equity fund, health, education, data sciences, AI, and value-added industries. Recognizing the contribution of Bangladeshi workers to both economies, I believe the implementation of the MOU on the employment of Bangladeshi workers 2021 is important. We also discussed the possibility of increasing workers and professional intake from Bangladesh and multiple entry visas for them. We highlighted exchange of higher educational experience through student exchange, faculty exchange, research projects, and joint master's and doctoral programs. We further discussed collaborations of deep sea fishing, seabed exploration, marine science, and strategic connectivity between Chittagong Port and Port Kalang. We congratulate Malaysia for its upcoming chairmanship of ASEAN in January 2025. We discussed the issue of Bangladesh's inclusion as a sectoral dialogue partner of ASEAN. We look forward to Malaysia's active role for Bangladesh's inclusion in the regional body. Finally, we express our firm commitment and determination to work closely to elevate our bilateral relations to a new height, consistent with the new Bangladesh. I thank you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Excellency. May I now have the honor to request Honorable Dato Seri Anwar Ibrahim, Prime Minister of Malaysia, to kindly deliver his statement.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Alhamdulillah, nahmaduhu wa nusalli ala rasulihil kareem. My dear brother, Professor Muhammad Yunus, Chief Advisor, Interim Government, New Bangladesh, Excellencies, Ministers, Advisors, friends in the media. Of course, I'm delighted to be here. Back to Bangladesh. I used to joke, it's a country of Biplab and Shongram. And it's proven to be so. But more so, my acquaintance, the Bengali struggle, went a long way. I'm an avid reader of Rabindranath Tagore. I used the occasion in the solitary confinement in prison to reread Gitanjali. And of course, the essays and the short stories, which were compelling, passionate, touch the heart and soul of men and women, on the marginalized, the poor, the less fortunate. And you, Professor Muhammad Yunus, symbolizes this passion. I know you for the last 4 decades, I suppose, as a person who has taken that initiative. Your lack of experience in governance, as they say, is nothing as compared to your strength. There is passion for the poor, marginalized, and for the people. And I think that is what we lack in this world today. You look at the situation in Gaza, now in Lebanon, what's lacking? Is deficit in humanity, in justice, in compassion. So thank you very much. I just feel like giving a lecture on Rabindranath Tagore, but that's not the occasion. But I'm, of course, really, I took this initiative early enough to give you a call and give my support as a friend and as a nation that is friendly to Bangladesh, notwithstanding some controversies, some criticism. I do recognize that the fast progress that we have achieved, the economic success, and now the last year also you have seen this phenomenal growth and massive investments, Malaysia becoming the hub of semiconductor in the region and becoming an attractive destination for investments in terms of data center and artificial intelligence. But can we deny, therefore, the role of Malaysian professionals, and to an extent, the role of many Bangladeshi workers? Now, that's why when you appeal for us to consider the issue of 7,000 or more who were duly registered, but then lost that opportunity because of the political development and uprising here, I will certainly give that a major consideration. At least the first phase, subject to all the conditions being met, can be taken as soon as possible.
18,000.
Yeah, 18,000, but the first phase, once we satisfy, I think we'll do it at a fast track, fast phase.
Thank you.
Since we require. And the other issues on investments, of course, we have Malaysian companies here and Bangladeshi companies in Malaysia. I think what we need to do, if we want this sort of comprehensive strategic partnership, then we should give some attention and preference to these companies, we in Malaysia, to the investments from Bangladesh, and you here too, to make sure that any teething problems be given a fast attention in a transparent manner. I share your vision. In Malaysia and my team, we assume our focus is governance, anti-corruption, and economic fundamentals. We do not compromise with this because we don't need to associate political elite and political leaders assuming office to amass wealth and enrich themselves or their families or their cronies. And therefore, I empathize, I understand fully well that though we want Malaysian companies that have been operating here should be given adequate consideration, I will not compromise on the issue of transparency and the proper due diligence in the process. And then, of course, higher education, research in all fields, we should look at it and explore and collaborate, and we can fast track. The Minister of Foreign Affairs is here, Minister Michi is here, in terms of the negotiations, whatever form that you want in terms of trade arrangements. But what is important is having the joint commission meeting as soon as possible. You suggest probably early next year. I see even if they are ready, they should come earlier. I'm not imposing on them too fast. Then on the ASEAN sectoral dialogue partner, where in the past there were encumbrances, not created by us but some members, because we have to achieve only through consensus. But let me assure you that I will give this some priority. The foreign ministry officials will start connecting with their counterpart, and probably once things seems to be quite settled, then bring up to the attention the foreign minister. If it need be, I will personally interfere and speak to my counterpart. The fortunate thing in the region, ASEAN is, the most peaceful region in the world, fastest growth in terms of the economy. And our relationship with our neighbors is excellent. And that is to me important in terms of propelling and giving importance to the economy. And so there are concerns he expressed, and I am satisfied with your assurance, because Malaysia is a multiracial, multireligious country. We realize that to succeed, we have to recognize the importance of the majority Muslims, and to also respect the rights of those minority or the poor, the marginalized. And I'm assured, thank you for the assurance, because to me, never mind the exaggeration or the mudslinging by the some parts of the foreign media, but it is, I know you personally, I know your passion about rights of men and women, human rights, human dignity, ihsan or compassion, and now that you are in the government, these principles, I trust you would honor as we have tried. There are, of course, excesses, sometimes in the period which is uncertain, but I fully support your position, and I believe your effort to ensure that this new Bangladesh is Bangladesh which is such vibrant democracy and respect the rights of every single citizen in the country. I do emphasize this because this has been talked about. So I'm very pleased with your candid and sincere response. And knowing you personally is more important. I trust your leadership and dedication, and I'll be guided to be of any small assistance if and whenever you need. This finally goes on the issue of halal certification and collaboration in terms of halal, both certification and joint industrial development, and in terms of agriculture. by the two countries. Thank you.
Terima kasih. Thank you, Excellency. Dear friends from the press and media, honorable dignitaries, we will now take questions from the floor. Due to paucity of time, we will take a couple of questions. I request you to please be precise and brief while asking your questions. We can start with the UNB, United News of Bangladesh.
Hello. Good afternoon, Excellency. My name is Moinuddin. I represent UNB, it's a private news agency. We know migration brings benefit for both countries, but we have seen kind of syndicate in the past years. So what has been discussed to dismantle this kind of syndicate so that migration remains safe and regular? And my second question goes to Honorable Chief Advisor. Sir, you know, Malaysia is going to be the next chair of ASEAN, probably in January. So what's your expectation from Malaysia in terms of resolving Rohingya crisis? Because you have recently said if these problems remains unresolved, not only Bangladesh, entire region will be in trouble. So what's your expectation? Thank you so much.
Well, on the workers, I have assured in the meeting with the advisors today that we will discard, of course, we have discarded the old system. We have gone through a very transparent procedure. Notwithstanding differences between contending companies is not of our concern. Our concern is to make sure whatever is decided must be followed through. We need workers, and they cannot be treated as modern slaves. I've said it publicly in the past, in the present, whether they are from Bangladesh or Indonesia or India, it doesn't matter. Which means, therefore, that the process must be transparent, and the so-called agents, if they are selected, must follow and adhere strictly to the policies. If they promise lodging or in Malaysia for the workers and jobs, they better do. Otherwise, as we have done, we have threatened to cancel, and we have cancelled. So I think that is the new system that we have in Malaysia. And I believe, inshallah, we'll be able to improve this sort of arrangement between not only Malaysia, Bangladesh, but Indonesia and the rest, you see, because otherwise there are petty problems. But please be reminded that to differentiate between normal case of a foreign worker with some criminal charges. So do not defend criminal action, whether it's by Malaysian or by a foreigner. So we must be able to distinguish this. Because in my experience, sometimes whilst we support the rule and the treatment is fair, but every time there is a problem when it comes to criminal action, immediately there is that backlash, which is really not proper. But please be assured, I come from a personal experience of knowing what gross, manifestly unjust system of oppression is all about. We are not here in government to allow this, to condone this in any manner. And I therefore listen carefully to the expression, the concern expressed by Chief Advisor, and even on the plight of the 18,000. Not fault of, if it's true the process is being observed, it's not their fault. Sometimes circumstances, and we have a duty to make sure that we make the necessary adjustments and changes. Thank you.
Thank you very much. People will be very happy with your answer about the 18,000 people who got stuck with none of their fault. Thank you very much for that, on behalf of all of Bangladeshis. On the Rohingya issues we discussed, it's not only Bangladesh problem, which is a serious one, it's also Malaysian problem. Malaysia has the same Rohingya issue. A smaller one, but a smaller number of people, but the same issue. So we need to find a solution to that. So we work together through ASEAN, to Malaysian government, and to the broader international community and also highlighted another aspect of it, actually two aspects of it. One, new children born in the camp. On an average, 32,000 kids are born every year. So over the 7 years, the number, additional number, on top of the 1.2 million who came. And it's not the birth rate that concerns us, or having new children. It's about what happens in their life. They are now, those who are born 7 years back, they're 7 years old, more there. So a whole new generation of young people growing up. When they came, they brought their children at that time who have grown up now. So this is a generation of angry young people. They have no future. So worries for the world is, this is a ticking time bomb. It can explode in any way you want, or they want. And many people will play around with them. And then new entries are happening right now, every day, not every year, every day. On an average, 400, 500 Rohingyas are entering, sometimes jump up, sometimes slow down. But they're a constant flow. So our worry is whether they should be added to the existing roster that we have, or there will be separate roster, because already who are settled here, they have certain rights, obligations, commitments from the international community, but the new one have no commitment from anybody. So where do we go? So this is a concern I shared with the Prime Minister. And he fully supported and understood our position, and through ASEAN, through International Forum, will be supporting us to find an international solution, because the solution is not in Bangladeshi hands. It is in the international community's hand. So we'll keep on raising these issues, and Malaysia will be supporting us in raising that. And we cannot wait indefinitely. This is something that we have to resolve as soon as possible. Thank you.
Thank you, Excellency. We'll take one more question from BSS, Bangladesh Sangbad সংস্থা.
Assalamu alaikum, good afternoon. My name is Dr. Islam. I represent Bangladesh Sangbad সংস্থা. I have to make a question to Honorable Prime Minister of Malaysia. What initiative both Bangladesh and Malaysia can take to enhance bilateral trade and investment? And is there any progress to sign a free trade agreement between the two countries? Thank you.
Two issues which, of course, the chief advisor will have to respond also on the free trade agreement or related agreement. It would depend on what form, which it could be decided by both parties in their first meeting, either towards the end of the year or early next year. But in terms of bilateral mechanism, we must make sure that those in operations are given enough support. And I would certainly encourage, say, Petronas and Axiata, for example, those who are already here, subject to the procedures and rules here, that they expand to show and give that confidence that things are stable in Bangladesh and it is pro-development. I wouldn't say pro-business because sometimes they say it's too overly capitalistic. But I mean, support business enterprise, though I know the concern of the chief advisor in terms of ensuring that the plight of the poor and the marginalized are given adequate attention. And then in this meeting, they would certainly identify food technology, and it was mentioned just now on digital technology, on semiconductor, on data centers and AI, on energy transition. These are both traditional issues like food technology to the new technology. Now, some areas Bangladesh excel, some areas Malaysia excel. Then we should be able to work together, and what was agreed upon is that we take an open view to explore all facets and all aspects, not confined to the traditional collaboration, but in all fields, including defense, education, research, scientific research. And these areas we must explore. You see, it is unfortunate that we are both friendly nations. We have established diplomatic relations. We have worked together. But always, as I've seen, that the tendency is the obsession with others, with the other countries, other extreme west or extreme east. Fair, we can continue to do what's best for our country, but there's no reason whatsoever why we should not see the strength within our community, particularly in the context of global south. We have to strengthen our own forces, and it is these countries that understand each other and more sincere and helpful rather than use it as just to exploit resources or to benefit in terms of getting exorbitant profit. So these issues, I believe, with the Madani philosophy and concept that we promote in Malaysia and what you are trying to do here in Bangladesh, I think we should start and explore to the best of our ability.
Thank you.
Thank you, Excellency. Ladies and gentlemen, with this, the press appearance ends here today. Thank you all very much for joining with us today. Terima kasih. Thank you.